Alright guys, welcome back to Literal TV, where today we're doing a very different kind of video. Today I'm going to do a ranking of every single lost character, and as you can also see, I severely need an ad block. Like, I don't know what is going on, but it's a mess. Anyway, today we're going to rank every single lost character, or at least every character that is on this tier list. Yeah, I mean, I've recently finished my first watch through of the series Lost. It's a great show. I mean, you know, it's not perfect, but it's perfect in other ways, you know what I mean? So we're going to get right into it. We're just going to rank every single character on here. Hopefully I remember all their names, or at least most of their names, because at the end of the day, like, I just watched the show. I should know them, but will I? Alright, I'm on my floor as well. Okay, so let's get right into it. We're going to rank based on... Oh my god, stop opening all the tabs! Fucking Audible, bro. Fuck it, fuck off. Right, we're getting into this ranking. Okay, so my tiers are oh my god! Fucking goat tier, great lad, mid-week stinker. They all kind of speak for themselves. It's just like, you know, top's better than the bottom. Okay, get right into it. We're gonna go with Ana Lucia. And Ana Lucia is someone who I kind of don't like that much. It's a shame. I think in general this show struggles at writing women. I'm gonna be real. The show struggles at writing women, and I think Ana Lucia is just like, she's fine. Like, let me click this ad off. Where? Oh my god, I fucking... What? Oh my... Anyway, we're just gonna ignore the ads. Just ignore the ads. Ana Lucia is just not a great character. She's fine. And I get a lot of people actually do like her. But to me, I just never loved her. I feel like she kind of got killed when her arc was incomplete. You know, I think she could have been a great character. I think you could have developed her a lot. But I think she kind of just never really got a positive representation for me. I think... Even her flashback episode, she didn't come off great, so I'm going to go with weak. Yeah, it's a shame, as I think she had potential. Anyway, next up, we have Benjamin Linus. I'm actually not a Ben Glazer, as much as some people are. Some people fucking love Ben. I'm not huge on him. I think he's a good character. I think he can definitely go in great, as he is definitely a well-written character. But I think his redemption's kind of weird. I think he's always in a weird spot where he's not necessarily a villain in most of the things he does. Apart from, like, obviously killing everyone where he lives. But, I say where he lives, the Dharma Initiative. But it's like, I don't know, with Ben, I'm kind of not the biggest Ben fan. Like, I think I wanted to like him more. But he's solid. You know, like, I'm not going to say he's bad at all. He's a really well-written character a lot of the time. But I think especially in, like, the later seasons, he just kind of becomes a bit weak. I like his ending, though. Like, I think he has a good ending. Anyway, next up we have Bernard. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to put Bernard in mid, as a lot of people would put him low for being a bad character, but he definitely serves his purpose. Like, I think Rosie's going to go with him. There's not much to say with Bernard, because he doesn't get to do a lot. I think him and Rosie's story's cute, but at the end of the day, like, there's not much to go with, you know. And next up we have Boone. Is someone who, actually, like, I liked Boone enough, but, like, when you think of Lost, you do not think of Boone. Like, I would put him above Ana Lucia, but I think he had less potential than Ana Lucia is the thing. Like, I think with Boone, it's like, you know, he didn't have potential compared to, like, you know, you see why they killed him off. But yeah, I don't know with Boone. Boone's someone where, like, I just think he got killed for the right time, and he was fine. I think there was nothing wrong with him. I think he gets some hate even. I think he's fine. Like, but I think he left at the right time. And it just makes him weak in terms, like, compared to the rest of this cast, weak. Anyway, let's go with Charlie. Say it. I think a lot of people disagree with this nowadays. A lot of people send hate to Charlie. You know, I think Charlie was my favourite character for a lot of Lost. Got overtaken by someone that we're going to get to later. But yeah, Charlie's great. I think the season 1 especially, he is my favourite character. I think once you get to, like, season 2, I think his season 2 arc is really weird, but I really like Charlie still, and this is a personal ranking. Obviously, I rank overall arc, and I think he does have one of the biggest growth arcs of the show in terms of his late season 3 stretches, like one of the best stretches of a character of the whole show, which, for me, at least. Anyway, next up we're going to go with Charlotte. I'm going to be honest, I hate to say it, the women aren't doing great on this tier list, it looks really bad, but Charlotte just is not great. I just don't think she had a personality, which I'm saying this show isn't good at writing female characters. There are some really great female characters that you could have written. I think there are good ones in the show, But I think overall, the male characters just get, you can tell it was made by a man, you know, and like, it is what it is. Alright, and then we have Christian Shepherd. Great acting. I don't know the name of the actor, but whoever plays Christian Shepherd doing a great job. The thing is he's not a character that you ever grow to like. I think he really fuels Jack's arc through a lot of the show, even though obviously there's no growth there because it's all flashbacks. It's like when we meet Jack, every interaction he's had with like the alive Christian has already happened. But I think Christian has to at least go in mid because he provides a lot for the show in terms of the flashbacks. He's in like a bunch of people's flashbacks, and it became a joke with me and my mum when we were watching this show. Like, did he know everyone? Like, but yeah, I think the actor's great, and I think it just. Yeah. And then we get to Claire. I liked Claire quite a bit in like season 1, but I think the type of character Claire is, she kind of fits into the same box as like a Boone, where it's like, I think very season 1, like a normal person didn't have a ton of growth to be had with Claire. Like, I think it's a shame. I really didn't like Claire in season 6. I think she was very unlikable. I think before that though, she seems very nice, and I'm gonna put her in mid because there was a point where like I liked her. But yeah, I don't know with Claire. And then we get to Daniel Faraday. I like him. I think he is another character like Ben who I don't like as much as other people, but I do like him. I think he's gonna go in that tier, not as high as Ben, because I think Ben just overall is a more well-rounded character. Still, very good character, provides a lot for the show. And it's weird with Daniel Faraday where it's like, I think he gets his arc cut off a bit short. He gets killed like halfway through season 5, something like that. It's like nearer the end. And it kind of feels like he just gets cut short there. But I think at the same time, there were a lot of characters in this show, so people are going to die. And I don't think I liked Daniel as much as other people. He actually isn't my favourite from the Freighter crew even, which I think a lot of people, he is their favourite. I think he had the most development, but doesn't make him my favourite. But yeah, that's Daniel Faraday. Very good character, but just not one of my favourites. Anyway, right, this is my favourite character from the show. It is Desmond. Yeah, Desmond just is, for me, the best character of Lost. I think he's not the best written character in terms of, like, he's up there, but he isn't the best written character. You know, I think we'll get to that person when we get to him. And yeah, I think it's pretty obvious who the best written character in Lost is. I would say Ben, though. But with Desmond, I think he just is the character that is always rootable in the show. Like, season 3 feels like Desmond's season, so does season 4. Like, I think those seasons feel like he is kind of the main character of them. Like, some of the best episodes of the series are Desmond episodes. You know, you think of The Constant. I don't know the names of all the episodes, but the first episode where he has all the flashbacks, where he meets Eloise, I think Desmond's just a really likable character. I've put the 2 British characters in the GOAT tier as well, and I'm British, so it looks bad. But yeah, Desmond is in my GOAT tier. He's my favourite character. And we get to another amazing... this person pisses me off because I fucking wish... Mr. Echo has to go and GOAT tier. Like, I fucking loved Echo. I was so annoyed that they killed him off. He was only in, like, a season of the show. Like, he died, like, early season 3, which is so annoying. Because I fucking loved Mr. Echo. Like, he had so much interesting development through the flashbacks, becoming a priest. He was very likable. He kind of had a very, like... I don't know what the term would be. A very, like, mixed background, you know. He'd been through a lot. I don't know what the word is. Like, somewhere where you... Anyway, he'd done a lot of different things. And I think he had a lot more to show. It's a shame he died when he did. I didn't even love his death. I thought his death was quite weak, especially compared to, like, Charlie's death, which is probably the best... No, the second best death in the show. Yeah, Mr. Echo. It's a shame. And then Eloise. I mean, like... She does her purpose, so I'm gonna put her above Bernard. I think she does provide more, but all the old people in mid. But Eloise is weird. Like I don't like. No one really likes Eloise. I don't think. No one's saying like, you know, my favorite character is Eloise. But yeah, I don't know. And then we get to Hurley. Hurley's someone that I'm not actually a huge fan of. I'm like, I understand people like Hurley a lot, but I think he's fine. Like I just never really connected to him like I did everyone else. And I think a lot of people put him in GOAT tier. Oh, great lad. I'm just not a big Hurley fan. And I hope if people don't just skip to the end and don't see my explanation. I usually love the comedy relief. But with Hurley, I just didn't like really love him. I felt like his flashbacks a lot of the time would at the start, like his first flashback episode was really entertaining as an episode, but it felt a bit tonally weird for the show for me, at least early on. Like it seemed like an episode, like 3 or 4 episode maybe, but I don't know. For me, Hurley is an average character for me, but I think he has some great moments and he's very likable. Stop telling me to update my device. Oh my God. Okay. Next up is that Alana? Yeah, Alana's a stinker. The reason I'm going to put her right at the bottom is because she had so much potential. She has this whole thing with like the idea of working for Jacob, and she genuinely has no personality. And it sucks. It's the same with Charlotte, where these people just don't have personality. And they could have really been like amazing characters. It sucks. Because like we could have really had like an interesting storyline, an interesting new character. You know, season 5 didn't really have any important new characters apart from like Jacob and the Smoke Monster were technically new characters, I guess. Like not really though, you know, and they would near the end anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I just think she could have provided a lot and been interested in like kind of antagonist, kind of, but in the end it wasn't enough, like personality wise. Anyway, next we have Jack. I think it's hard to not put Jack not above Desmond for me. I can't put him above. I think he has to go above Echo because Jack. I think it's a journey with him, and I think it's really weird how this show was kind of written as they went along, like not fully. Obviously, they have ideas, but for the most part, the writers have made. You know, we kind of just developed it based on what was going on, which you had to do with Cable. So, well, network. I don't know what counts as what, but you know, you didn't know when you were going to get cancelled. And with a character like Jack, I think season 1 he's like quite boring. Season 2 he gets a little bit more. I think late season 1, and then during season 2, these little more nuances to him, which makes him more interesting. And then by the time you get to season 6, he's like one of the best characters because he's just so complex in terms of he's very flawed, but at the same time, he's like a hero, you know? I don't want to glaze Jack too much because obviously he's the main character. I think he's someone that it took me a lot of time to like him. I think once I rewatch the show, which I'm going to do very soon, he's going to be someone that I like a lot more because I know where he ends up and how he dies. And I think once you get to season 6, if you don't like Jack, you're not going to like Jack ever. Like, you know, it's very good at the end. I like Jack towards the end. Then we have Jin. You know, I'm going to put him at the top of Great Lad. I really like Jin. I think season 1, he was purposefully very unlikable. He was meant to die, I mean. But then he ends up kind of having this redemption. Not even kind of. He definitely has a redemption arc. And him and Sun's like love story is definitely the best written romance in this show. I think this show in general isn't great at writing romances. There's a few that I like. I think Charlie and Claire's good at first. I think Sawyer and Juliet's good, but I think Jin and Sun is the romance of Lost. You know, you think of like Lost romances, you're thinking of Jin and Sun, and Sun and Jin, which would be the right term. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think Jin's a great character who I don't love his flashbacks. I'll say that. I don't love him or Sun's flashbacks because I think they were very repetitive, but I think he's a great character in general. Anyway, next up we have John Locke. It's hard because I think he has to go up here for me, as he's one of my favourite characters for a while. I don't love where they took him necessarily following, like, I'm trying to think, when was it, like, after season, like, 2 even, I'm struggling to remember what happens in what season with John Locke. I think it was season 4 where I didn't really connect with him as much, and I think his arc, it does get completed through the Flash Sideways, but I think his Alive arc kind of ends in a tragic way, which makes it hard for me to rank it. Let me just make sure I'm not going to run out of charge during this recording. Okay, I should be okay. But yeah, John Locke, amazing character at the start. One of the best characters of season 1. I think him and Jack's relationship is always going to be amazing. And the actor, Terry O'Quinn, I believe, is phenomenal. But I don't know. I think, I wish that he didn't die the way he did. I just, it's a shame because I was annoyed. That is the most evil thing Ben did, clearly. Anyway, Juliet. Juliet is actually one of the female characters I think is written well for the most part. I actually like Juliet. My mum hates Juliet for some reason. And I think she's just quite an interesting character, you know, coming from the others and kind of ending up not being with the others. I don't know. I think she has quite an interesting journey on season 3 in particular. And I don't know, it's always weird. You never know where she's fully at in that season. That's the thing. But I mean, that's the fun of it. That's fun, Juliet. Alright, and we're going with Kate. I don't like Kate. I don't like Kate. Here's the thing, right? This is going to annoy people probably. But yeah, I don't like Kate. I think she's just not very developed in terms of character development. I think she gets a lot of information in flashbacks, but her flashbacks become very repetitive. I'm not gonna lie, like, they are very repetitive, which is a shame because, like, I think you want to see people from all angles. I think her flashbacks were always just her crimes, like, and it was a shame because I think she's meant to be one of the main characters of the show, and she doesn't get the growth that Jack gets. So it's like, it's hard to really care for her, especially because her romance with Jack, I don't think he's great. I think she has more chemistry with Sawyer by far. So it's a shame. I didn't like her or Jack at the start, and Jack got what I wanted from him. And then Keem, like, is a thing. Not a great character, but the actor is very good at portraying an unlikable figure. So I have to put him in Stinker because the character's just not really well developed. Like, I think his best stuff comes like when he dies and in the Flash Sideways. But yeah, not great. And then we have Libby. Libby's a shame. I really wish we got more Libby, as I really liked her with Hurley. I think Hurley really needed someone to help him grow on the island, and it's a shame that he didn't get that. So yeah, I mean, not really much else I can say there because Libby shouldn't have died when she did. She didn't really need to go there. It was a very shocking death. And I think her with Ana Lucia and Mr. Echo as well. Acts were just cut short for that season 2 crew. Like, the fact Bernard's the only one who survived. I get people like Rose and Bernard, but like, he's the least interesting character of that crew. I'm sorry. Like, he just is. And it's as like, Libby had a lot of potential. And I think the asylum thing was interesting. I think it's been said that it was like just because after her divorce she was there, but yeah, I don't know. Then Lapinus, right? I used to call him that for some reason. I actually really like Frank. I'm actually gonna put him. I can't have my top 8 be all men though. What the fuck? But like, it's my ranking. I really like Frank. I think Frank's just very likable. Now, it's kind of a weird ranking because he's basically a side character despite being in like 3 whole seasons and always being in the main front of it. He never gets a flashback, which is a shame. I just think he's a very likable character. And this is probably going to be controversial to have him that high. I just think he's one of the people where there's no way you can dislike him. It's weird seeing him like that though after watching season 5 and 6 because he doesn't have the beard. Yeah, alright, and then we have the Smoke Monster, which Man in Black, you can also call him, but the Smoke Monster. I'm not gonna lie. I think as a character, he's quite weak. He's definitely worse than Kate. I would honestly put him there. I think the thing is with him is he's just, I think the perspective on him is very weird in terms of the way they frame it, the writing. It's kind of just like, you might see him as a villain. I don't really see him as a villain. It's just kind of sad. Like, the way he's just forced to be on the island. Obviously, he's a villain in the way he's trying to kill people, but it's like, why are they keeping him there? Poor guy. Yeah, I mean, it's a shame. And then we get on to Michael. This is hard because I really liked Michael at the start. I really liked Michael in season 1. And then they kind of undo any redeeming qualities of him. Not that low. By making him just kill 2 key characters just to save his son. And I get, like, he wants to save his son, but he could have talked to someone about that. Like, no, okay, we're just gonna fucking kill them. I know this is like hating on him because he did something in the show. It's like, you know, Ben is a horrible person. But with Michael, it's like, he's not even evil. He's just moody. Anyway, next up we're gonna have Miles. This might be a bit controversial. I'm actually gonna have Miles up here. I really like Miles. I just think Miles is one of the better things about Late Lost. I actually like Late Lost. I like all of Lost. That's the thing. I don't have a season that I didn't find a lot of enjoyment in still. I think his flashback episode as well is actually one of my favourite episodes. I think it's one of my standouts. And I don't know why. I just really enjoyed that episode. I really enjoyed Miles. I think, especially in season 5. I think season 4 he was kind of average. Season 5 really grew to like him. yeah, I think honestly the season 4 characters got done well, apart from Charlotte kind of got done over. But yeah, and then I'm just gonna put these guys in stinker. Like these are one-time characters. Like they were fine, but they were one-time. Honestly, I'm put these two. Like the one was more interesting than the guy. I even put the guy for Charlotte. But yeah, like whatever. They just weren't. They were one episode characters, right? I'm pretty sure this is who I think it is. I don't remember their names. Anyway, is this Penny? That does not look like Penny, but I think it's Penny. Penny doesn't actually have that much screen time when you think about it. She's in like 16 episodes. I like Penny actually. I like Penny like quite a bit. I kind of above those, but like I think Penny being there is very fair. She's a very likable character. She doesn't actually have that much screen time, but when she is on screen, it's very convincing in Desmond's arc. Obviously, I'm a Desmond fan. Like Desmond's literally number one on my list. Of course, like she's gonna do well. I think that's just because she's a part of that so much, but she is at the end of the day just kind of a building block for his arc, which is a shame. She doesn't have a personal arc, but she's a very likable character, and I think it's a shame we didn't see her in like finale. I don't think she really gets any screen time in the second half of seasons. I don't think is she in season 6 apart from like the first few episodes? I don't know. She might not be. I'm not sure. Oh, she's in the church. Yeah, but yeah, okay. Yeah, wait, she's in all the Flash Sideways, yeah. Okay, Alex, I mean, Alex is fine. Like, she serves her purpose. You know, she serves her purpose. Doesn't do, like, a ton. Yeah, she's just Alex. Can I get rid of this ad? No. Okay, whatever. Yeah, Alex is fine. Does what the character needs to do. But, not, like, she's just average. She's mid. Yeah. Then we have Danielle Russo. Also just gonna put her, like, above Alex. Yeah, she's above like these people, but for me, Danielle Russo she dies very anticlimactically, and I think her arc with Alex really the reunion scene with her, she just doesn't give a fuck that much. Like she's like, oh, Alex, and then she's like I get Alex wouldn't care. She hasn't met her mother, but Danielle, like this was your whole storyline. I don't know. It is weird. Anyway, I have Jacob. I think Jacob's fine. We're past a lot of the great characters. There's some still, but for me, Jacob's just fine. Like, I don't think he has a huge personality is the thing. So I'm going to have to put him, like, weak because he doesn't have a personality. We're talking characters, but I think his actual intrigue is very high. He's obviously a very interesting character. And we get to the first character. Actually, no, this isn't the first one I don't know the name of, but I do not know the name of this character. Yeah, I don't know him at all. I actually liked him, though. I thought he was quite good. I'm going to put him mid because I don't remember his name. But, yeah, he was just quite funny. He was just one of the others. He didn't do a ton. He was in like season 3 and a little bit of season 4 in like Michael's flashback. Yeah. Anyway, Vincent, fuck the dog. No, I can't have him that high. Like he's Vincent. I know people love Vincent, but it's like he's a dog. I can't put him that low though. Same time, I'm actually gonna rank Vincent for how good of a character he is. I'm gonna put him above Michael. No, man, even then, man. Yeah, we'll put him there. Like, I know people would put Vincent in GOAT, but, like, I'm being honest, he's still better than the other characters. Then we have Charles Widmore. Charles Widmore's quite interesting, but I think he lacks, like, any kind of likability, like, whatsoever. You don't really root for Charles Widmore at all. I think that's the problem, is he kind of is very one note, but he's good at playing the part he's given. That's the thing. Anyway, so we have Richard. Richard's great. How do I get up? I need to put you there, Richard. You gotta go higher than that. Okay, you're gonna go. I need to go like, yeah. Richard's great. Richard's really likable towards the end. I think the issue with Richard for a while is he didn't have a ton of development until final season 6. So Richard probably gets the most growth of anyone during that season, which is great. As I think he's just a very unique character, as we don't know what's going on for most of the show with him. So yeah. Then we have Rose. You just need to go with Bernard. You can go above Bernard, I guess, because you run it more. Okay, Sawyer. Yeah, Sawyer just has to go up here. Overall, the most character development of the show. I'll put him second. Yeah, Sawyer's great. I think, especially season 5 was like, that kind of was Sawyer's season. Like, he was the main character that season. So yeah, Sawyer has to go there. He starts out as a dickhead and he becomes a very likable figure. Yeah, Sawyer, easy go to. And then Saeed pisses me off because I love Saeed. Genuinely, one of my favourite characters. I hate how his storyline ends, but for most of the show, he is still a great character. So I have to put him in GOAT tier, but it's like, I can't put him any higher because of the way storyline ends. So yeah, that's how it goes. He's still a great character though. Shannon, right? There's no problem with Shannon. She would still go like up here, but the problem is, right, she dies right as her development is kind of kicking in, and I think the issue is she doesn't really get the full payoff with that development. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we could have kept her a bit longer. It kind of felt like they had an argument with the actress. I don't know if that's true though. And then next we have Sun. Sun is someone else who very likable. Doesn't have growth because she doesn't need growth. But we're gonna put her there. With Jin, I think Jin just gets more growth than Sun. Very intertwined storylines. You can't have one without the other. It just wouldn't work, like, whatsoever. Yeah, I mean, just someone that I think no one's gonna deny is a very likable figure. One of my parents is currently coming down the stairs. Bro, what are you doing? My mum, come down here. I'm doing a video. No, this is one. I'm doing a lost character thing, right? One person left. I have to rank. Walt. Where does Walt go, mum? Does he go stinker, weak, mid, great lad, or GOAT tier? Say mid. I can put Walt mid. Alright, put him there. Alright, well, what should they do, mum?
Like and subscribe to Literal Tov.
Yeah, like and subscribe, guys, as she said. Thank you for watching. If you did, this is the list. You know, there we go. Yeah, that's it.